Welcome to the Relatable podcast, a safe space for open and honest conversations created for Black people.
This podcast explores how we relate to one another in our intimate connections, friendships, family, and everything in between. Hosted by 3 Caribbean women. I am Fiona, a single mom.
I'm Shaween, a very near empty nester.
And I'm Chantal, a free-spirited monogamist. Relatable, because a shared journey brings hope.
Welcome, ladies. Welcome to Relatable family. How are you all doing? A new week, a new episode. And this one is kind of like, boy, I don't even know how to call that one. Dating whilst Caribbean. That's what I jump in right into it. Right into it. Ladies, before we do anything though, before we get into it, how's everybody doing? How's our beautiful co-hosts? How are you guys doing? Fiona, Sakafet.
I am coming to come, as they say in the solution terms, which means almost there, getting there, trotting on. But it's coming to come is a positive term, right?
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, been very busy, been painting, prepping because I'm opening a shop to friends in one of the
Not just dropping that there like that. Friends.
Hey,
Girl.
hey, let me tell you, money I make. So taking the risk is scary because opening a shop requires overheads and investment and things, but I'm looking at it as an investment into myself and my son. So I'm jumping right in and doing it. So that is a precursor to what brings me joy, right? Anyways, Chantal, how are you?
Hello. Wow, Fiona, I love this for you.
You'll love it even more when you see the shop, when you see what it look like.
Well, you showed me the rendering a few months ago, so I am very much looking forward to seeing how that has progressed in real life.
And IGR has to have its section, eh?
Absolutely. Yeah,
Okay.
man. Totally. And I will soon have some very good news, which is very similar, but let me wait. How am I right now, presently, in this moment? In this very moment, I am truthfully okay. I am okay. Been a few challenges. I'm doing a lot of personal shedding. It hasn't been a great time. I guess some people would refer to it as my shadow period. Lots of external things going on and also internal. So it's been a pretty rocky time for the last, I would say, 3 to 4 weeks. But presently, sat here recording this podcast. I have my sage burning and almost choking me. So I'm trying not to cough because it's way too close to me. So I need to move it a little. Okay, you go there. In this moment, I'm okay. And that's it.
Good.
Shaween, how are you?
I'm good, I'm kind of similar. Lots of work to do. Lots of things happening, lots of moving parts. We're going to have a big announcement sometime soon. Fiona and I, we just ironing out some creases. So that's been keeping me busy. There are a few things that have been on my mind. Things not working the way I want them to work. Things not happening the way I had hoped they would have happened. And it's just about reflection and seeing what I could have done better. But apart from that, health-wise, I'm good. I'm happy. And yeah, just keeping busy. So it's all good. It is all good in the hood.
Lovely.
So ladies, are we going to move into this topic that we've been avoiding?
Boy.
Oh gosh.
We've been avoiding this topic
Oh.
like the plague.
Okay.
I've been avoiding it.
Okay. All right. Why are we laughing so much?
I'm laughing because I know what's coming.
You know very well why.
I don't know. I don't know what's coming, Shaween. Okay. Okay. So to be clear, we decided to be brave and speak about dating whilst Caribbean. Let me tell you something. I don't even know where to begin.
You know where I'm going to begin? I'm going to ask this question.
Tell me.
Does dating even exist in the Caribbean? Dating,
Amen. Okay. Yo.
dating.
Yo.
Like I've never heard.
Dating. Let's define dating. What is dating? Because I feel that people have different ideas as to what dating actually is. So why not we go over to cousin Google and see what is the actual definition of dating? Okay, what is considered dating? According to Google, dating is a stage of romantic relationships in which two individuals engage in an activity together, most often with the intention of evaluating each other's suitability as a partner in a future intimate relationship, right? So essentially, dating is getting to know someone who you feel has the potential to be a future intimate partner. So, when I was growing up in the Caribbean and watching American cable TV, right? And there was Sweet Valley High.
I read every single Sweet Valley High book. FYI, I used to go down to the
and then I watched the
library,
series.
and I never watched it. I don't know if I watched the series, but I used to go down to the Castries library and look for them books.
Absolutely.
Yep, I remember.
As they drop. Listen.
I remember them books.
Okay. And back in the day, Lifetime used to show a lot of romantic comedies as well. Not just, some woman in trouble, in trauma. Because lately, Lifetime, I can't even deal. That's a whole other conversation. But my idea of dating was being taken out, going to a museum, going to an art gallery, essentially being courted, right? That was my understanding of dating.
Going to the movies, going to a diner or some.
Yes. And I couldn't wait to be of age where I thought I would be able or I would be allowed to date. Well, poor me, because I seem to have forgotten that I had two very Caribbean parents, right? And their understanding of dating was that someone wanted to take the child, go out, okay, have sex, and then bring she home. And so there was no dating allowed for this child, right? And I was like, but that's not what I understand dating to be. But then, as things progressed, as I became, older, not too much older, I also recognized that people on my island also misunderstood the term dating. Okay?
I think it's just your island, honey.
Basically, if somebody like you and you they watch you and tell you, girl, me like you, you are then there with. Okay? You're there with them. So whether you have even spent any time getting to know this person, right? Just because there may be some kind of physical attraction, which has been expressed, like I am physically attracted to you, you're there with them. Okay? If you are on the road talking to a member of the opposite sex, you're there with them. Okay? You can't have a conversation with someone of the opposite sex. Not when I was growing up in Nevis without being there with them. And usually there with them also meant that you were being intimate with them, which I would say for a vast percentage of the girls and women on my island was not true. Ain't nobody was having no sex. Ain't nobody was doing nothing. But even looking at someone of the opposite sex, and I say this because I am heterosexual, and that was my experience, you're there with them. So dating, actually the fun of dating, right, just did not exist on my island back then. I can't speak for now, but back then for sure, no. What? Me must spend money pan she, I mean, I get nothing? Okay.
Well, you know the amount of licks I get for boys already. That's why thinking about you speaking, you talking about back in the day, and I'm trying to go back. and just think of whether I used to date as a
Right.
teenager. You understand?
Yeah.
As
Yeah.
yes, I used to spend time in the library. One of my favorite things used to be was after school, because the boy I was interested in was going to RC and I was going to Ave Maria, and we lived in the same area. So after school, we used to walk home
Nice.
together. Used to be nice. That was the dating.
I love
That's the
that.
dating. But hey, we're talking about primary school here. So it
Oh.
just holding hands, a little butterfly in the chair, in your
Right.
that's what I'm talking about.
You know what makes me sad is
What?
that Chantal Sherwin and I were talking about this, right? Another topic, and we were like, that's not what we're going to say in this episode, because maybe we could bring up childhood stories, because
Right.
that's all we got. That's all we got.
Wow.
It is sad. It
Because
is
Tangusha
sad.
is straight to the jugular, honey.
Huh?
Once you link,
My friend, there's no beating around the bush.
Right.
Oi,
Right.
it's
we
straight to
going?
the
We
thing,
going now.
and then you do the thing for maybe several months until you decide you're going to be in a relationship or not. So the stories that we could draw are things from our childhood before we start to engage in the thing, right? Because that's what I'm saying. We don't date here.
Oh man.
Right? So, like Sherwin has her
Right.
cute little stories of primary school, right? And then it's like even my stories or whatever would be like secondary school, little small some things, right? And I guess, yes, maybe walking and going by the bus stop and going for a walk with a little boy and buying a piece of chicken together was the closest thing we had to like going on
Lovely.
dates.
Right.
But let's put it in context. Back then, we
Okay.
didn't have much money. We didn't have, you
But do you
understand?
need a lot of money to go
No,
on
but that's
on
what
a
I'm saying.
date?
So it's things like that. That's the sort of things we could afford, we could get. But I'm thinking as a teenager, no, I wasn't dating. I wasn't dating. I was after man, but I wasn't dating. Growing up, obviously, well, I entered life quite quick with my kids. But then, yeah, even with their fathers, not much dating. Moved to the UK, well, not much dating. All my rendezvous in the UK, not much dating.
Not much dating.
So I do not know. I don't really know what it's like to be caught, to be courted, and to date and go out and get to know people in that way.
The waiting.
I do not know.
Yeah, I don't think I've dated enough, Shaween. Speaking to what you said. So even after, I left Nevis and still very much looking forward to dating, it took a lot for me because in my young adulthood, when I lived in New York, I was with a partner. And I don't think we had dated that much because we had been friends. We already knew each other, right? And so there wasn't that much dating when it evolved from the friendship into an intimate relationship.
Yeah.
And so even after, many years after, when my marriage broke down and I moved to England, I was like, okay, finally, yes, hey, I'm single. I'm going to be dating and meeting lots of amazing people. But then again, there was this kind of not really being seen in the UK for quite a long time. And I think, when I moved to the UK in 2002, when I moved back, I was going through my own thing and accepting, the end of my marriage and spending some time with myself. And then when I was like, okay, I'm ready. And I don't know, I was meeting guys and it was all right. But I can honestly say in the time that I was in England, and maybe it's because most of the men that I ended up dating were of Caribbean heritage, right? And so for them, the whole dating, like, wasn't really a thing. Like we'd go out 1 or 2 times and then have maybe a conversation. But I feel like I've missed out. That's how it feels. It feels like I've missed out on dating. I can say during that time, I maybe went out on 5 dates, which really stood out. where I feel that,
Chantal, wait a
I'm
minute.
serious, that
Now
my
you know why I'm
likes were
laughing.
considered. Why?
I will say I've been on maybe 5 dates, full stop. I'm talking about 5 dates that stood out.
Oh my gosh, V.
Chantal,
We.
You laughing at the 5 dates. I'm trying to think of how many dates I went on in the UK. And it's not much. I don't think I went on any.
but it just goes to show how sad it is.
It is.
But yes,
When I
anyways.
met my ex-husband,
Oh boy.
we did a few dates. But let's put it in context. I met my husband, I think, in September, and I was married in January. So
Jesus Christ.
Boy.
so, so yeah, maybe them few dates. Well, I think my second date he proposed.
Jeez. Hey, that man knew, eh? He was like, yo. Yep,
Listen,
this is
Island
it.
down, go. Second date propose one time.
One
And
time. Oh my gosh.
Yes.
Listen,
and me
Fiona.
being me was like, hell yeah, let's do this. I was 23. What are you talking about?
Wow.
Let's
I'm
do this. Let's
saying.
go. There was no dating. There was none of that. You understand?
Mm,
But I don't want to speak for all of the Caribbean men and women. I can't, obviously.
no, right.
But based on my experience, I've been down here a year and a half. I've had a few encounters.
Mhm.
And I actually went on 3 lovely dates. Yes.
Oh,
I went on
lovely.
3 lovely dates with a much older gentleman, probably
Mm.
older than my father.
Oh,
Yes,
okay.
it
She
was
should have just left
me
it at
just
there at that. She should have just had a much older gentleman.
I try not to. Okay, that one took me out. Huh. Phew.
but it was nice. He took me to some beautiful some lovely restaurants,
Right.
and we had some nice dinners. And yeah, but after a while I was like, Shane, what the fuck you doing? Why are you entertaining that?
Right.
And I had
Right.
to let that go. I let
Okay.
it go. But apart from that, no dates. The last relationship was a house relationship. A relationship in the house. That is it.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm not experienced much.
Yeah. But you know what? Shireen? I have to give kudos to you for being open to possibilities because I have
Yes.
been home I'm in my 3rd year. So I've been home for 2 years. So I am journeying through what will be my 3rd year.
Mm-hmm.
And the first glimmer of not even meaningful interaction, but just playfulness and attraction and being appreciated beyond the size of my ass was in Trinidad, right? When I was there. And it was just so beautiful for me to have that side of me, like my divine feminine, be received so graciously in Trinidad. And I recognize that that is what I missed in Nevis because I love my island and I love my people. And we have spoken about the availability of men,
Yes, we
not
have.
just in Nevis, but in St. Kitts, the Federation of St. Kitts and Nevis. And it's not huge. And
Okay.
so in my trying to be open, no, in my being open, I was approached by someone last year. And he was like, "Oh, I love the work that you're doing here with Island Girls Rock. I've been seeing the stuff that you do on the island. I would love to, get to know you some more, perhaps take you out to dinner or lunch." And I'm like, "Sure." Gave him my information. And then it just turned into this sending me messages, "Hey," and that was it. Yeah, y'all
You
waiting for more?
serious?
Yeah, it turned into a series of that. And in the beginning, you know, it was like, oh, Chantal, thank you for giving me your number. You know, it'd be great to, you know, go out for lunch and whatever. And I said to him, you know, when I'm getting to know someone, I prefer either breakfast or lunch. I don't really do dinner until a while after. I just feel that it's a bit more laid back. And he was like, cool. And I said to him, all right, so I'm going to be off island from this date to this date, but I'm here for a few weeks before. So I gave him the information, right? And no initiative was taken. It was just every once in a while, hey, Chantal. And I'm like, hey. And for the first, I was like, okay, let me just answer. Let me not be my hurricane self. Let me just answer. Hi. And he's like, how you doing? I'm good. How are you? And that was the extent of it. And that kept on happening. And I spoke to, you know, a few of my circle, because my circle is expanding here. I said, am I being, you know, a bit harsh if I say I don't want to do this? Like, I don't have the time or energy to do this. And this person is my age. So there's no excusing. Like, what are you doing? I've given you the information. And this, I'm like, nah. I spoke to a few people and they were like, Shani, no, don't waste your time with that.
Yeah.
Like, what is he doing? And so I was like, you know what? Yeah, I blocked the number.
You did?
Yeah.
Boy,
Yeah, I
okay.
did.
I understand that. And on one hand, I'm saying, yes, he needs to take initiative. Yes, come on now. If you want something, go after it. But at the same time, sometimes not everybody like have that boldness, or because Casa, the worst thing is fear of rejection.
But he had already asked me out, Shaween.
Yeah,
He
I
approached
know.
me in public. It wasn't like he slid into my DMs.
Chantal, let me tell you something about yourself, darling.
Mhm.
You're a beautiful goddess. Not many men will have what it takes to feel comfortable enough to approach you.
Well, he did. That's what I'm saying,
Yeah, but
Shaween.
But
speaking
is
to
is
you,
the
yeah,
after like the ceiling
is
of
the
of the
after,
deal?
is after. Yes, okay. You know, it must have taken him so much to approach you and ask you. And I'm not making excuses for this man because I do not know. I'm just saying, sometimes for me personally, I like to give them a little something to work with. I like to open it up. I like to open it up and be like,
babes.
you know, how about we do this? How if I not getting, and if I still not getting any heat from you, then my friend, you have to go. Go on your
But
business.
babes, it's not even about the heat. I am not asking for heat.
When I say heat, I don't mean like jump into bed. No, that's not
and
what I'm
neither do
saying.
I don't mean that at all.
I mean, like, yeah, you know,
like follow
a little,
through.
sometimes you have to give them a little something, a little joke here, a little joke there, or something, because not some men, I know there are men out there who would love to speak to me, who'd love to, but they just don't have the balls to do it.
Well,
I
then
don't know why.
they're not
I
the man
line
for
with
me.
all types of people. I don't have no
Yeah.
like, I don't have, when it comes to people, human beings, I don't watch them in any way. As long as you treat me nice and speak to me and make me feel appreciated, I'm happy. But yeah, some men are very, very, very shy, and they could be the biggest bad man, biggest this, biggest that. But when it comes to talking to a woman and following through, sometimes they need a little encouragement to open up.
Yeah. Shaween, I hear you, but I'm not doing that anymore. And the reason that I'm not doing that anymore is because I am then leaning into my masculine and I'm tired. I'm tired of being in my masculine.
True.
I need to be in my feminine. So I have given you all the information. I've told you it was great meeting you too. Yes, I would love to hang out.
Yes.
I'm on island until this date, and then I'm back after this date. I prefer lunch over dinner. That is a lot of information. And then
like,
you choose
what again you want? You still have to come and be beggy to say, hey, when are we going?
This is what I'm saying. But before I did anything, I spoke to other people. I'm like, am I being, because this feels like you're wasting my time now.
Yes.
Right. And I don't have a lot of time to waste.
Yes.
Life is really short. And I could be blocking someone else who is ready.
Yes.
Right. And when I say ready, just ready to even say, yo, Chantal, I would love to take you out. Are you free here?
Yes.
Okay, great. You're free. Wonderful. Is it easier for you to meet me there, or should I come and pick you up? Boom. We roll in. Right?
Yep.
But I can't. I am not 22. I am going to be 51 in 2 months.
Yeah.
And we're both adults. You were bold, you stepped forward, and I didn't. I was open to receive. I gave you my number, boom. I didn't play any games because I don't play games.
No.
It's a waste of time. So for me, I was reciprocating. I was open to receiving. But then after that, I'm sorry, you may call me a traditionalist, and in some aspects I am. But if you are courting me, courting involves follow through. And then you receive the energy from me. So no, Shaween, I am no longer in that season of, but what if maybe he's shy, maybe no, I'm not doing that. I'm shy. I am also shy when it comes to flirting and whatever. But if I truly am interested in someone and there's been a connection, then that connection is going to flow. And even if it's just a connection for a date, right? It doesn't have to be like, oh, this is the love of my life. It's not about that.
No.
Because that's not what dating is about. You know, dating is getting to know someone, getting to know their likes and interests, getting to know their heart. You know, are we aligned in, say, for instance, I was at the stage of my life where I could still have children. Are we aligned in that? How are you, how were you raised? What's your relationship with your family? These are key things that tell you who a person is. And so we need an opportunity to talk these things. You know, where do you stand? Are you a Democrat or a Republic? Like, because that is very definitive for me. Bye. But, are you a Trump supporter? Like these things. Let's have an opportunity to discover these things. That is what dating is. And you don't have to be, I don't want someone to be a carbon copy of me, right? There are things that I love. I love art. I love, going to museums, going to art galleries. I love reading. I love books. There are certain things that, okay, so this is not a creative person. That's cool. I'm not going to drag them to every art gallery. I don't have the expectations that you are going to know what I'm talking about all the time when it comes to art and creativity. But I do have an expectation that you will listen and that I am heard and that I am seen. So I want to know if you are that person, because I am that person. But how do we find that out?
Yeah.
By dating.
In what Chantal has just explained, right? The importance of dating. Do you think that because we don't date in the Caribbean, I think I'm already answering the question, is that's one of the causes of why we have such terrible track record in terms of relationships, in terms of
probably,
in terms of things like infidelities, domestic violence, just general toxic relationships, or just incompatibilities as well. Because once the heat die down and things like that, and then it's like after you're already in a committed relationship is when you really start dating, as Chantal has described it, in terms of getting to know each other, and then it's too late and you stick in that and you'll have your commitments and whatever. So it's what you just said, Chantal, has really caused me to reflect about the situation in the Caribbean and why things fail, and sometimes fail in very large scales and very like big blowouts and things like that, and then maybe that's why, because we never took the time.
Take time.
Probably.
Because we're so caught up in the physical, and then the physical just leads to the comfort, and okay, you can stay the night, okay, you can then stay 2 nights, and okay, then we just continue, and then okay, we're in a relationship, and then only months later.
Note to relatable listeners, Fiona is describing my life.
Fiona's asking a very valid question.
And it is something. It is.
Yeah.
My last relationship, I got to know as time went by.
Yeah.
And the more time that went by, the more I got to know. And the more I got to know is the more I realized, what the fuck have I done?
Yeah.
Oops, I did it again.
Yeah, but that's the thing, is because we don't know how to.
I don't know how to. I don't know how to date.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'll be very honest. Like I said, I went on 3 dates with this guy. It was really lovely. And it's through going on these dates that I realized I don't want to be doing that. I don't want to spend my time with that man. That man is not compatible with me. All right. And I don't want, yes, the dinners are nice, but I don't want to be spending time. Thank you.
Right.
No, thank you. Maybe
Mm.
had I saw the value in doing all these things
Mm-hmm.
before, then I would have, well, avoided a lot of drama. But yes,
Yeah.
I'll be honest. This is making me both happy and sad. It
Okay.
really is. I felt I like you, Chantal. I feel like I've missed out. And it's because I have a hard head. Let's not get it twisted. My head is hard as hell. Okay? Because all of y'all will tell me, Shaween, you're moving too fast. Shaween, no, you should not have the man staying at your home overnight, 3, 4, 5 nights. Shaween, he's been there a month. Shaween, he's your man now. I've had all of this from you guys. So it's my fault. I blame myself. I blame myself on this.
But it's not about fault, Shaween, and it's not about blame.
It's hard. My
Because
hard
we are
head,
learning.
Chantal.
No, but we're learning. And the
Chantal,
very
I'm
fact,
43 years old.
but we never stop learning, child. If we do, that means we're dead. Hello.
I know, but still,
Right.
like how many times?
As many times until you learn. That's how lessons work, right?
Oh my God. Oh my God. But yeah,
But
it's
Shaween,
crazy.
right? On reflection, I think what I feel that one of the reasons that as a community, we are still navigating because, and this is a thing that confuses me. My grandparents courted. That generation knew how to court. So where did that deviate to us not knowing how to date? Like that's the part, because when I used to sit down with my grandfather and he would tell me stories about him and my grandmother, getting to literally courting and, other women that he courted before. And this is all without physical intimacy. When did that change? Which generation then heralded a change in that mindset and those behaviors? Right?
I'll tell you which one. It's our generation. You know why? Like you said.
Not really,
Like you
Shaween?
said, Chantal.
Your parents dated?
No, my parents, probably yes. Knowing my mother, my mother would have given my father a run for his money. My mother would have made my father take her out. My mother would have watched my father for a long time and see what she likes about him, what she doesn't like about him, go out with him, go on some cheeky little, I wouldn't say dates as in restaurants and things back then. No, I would say go out, maybe by the river.
And that's a date. It doesn't have to be a restaurant for dinner.
Yeah, go by the river, getting to know his friends. My mom would have done that because
important. Get to know their friends.
I know my mother, and my mother was a romantic. My mom used to read all the Mills and Boons books. My mom, yes, Lord. My mom loves a romantic story. That's how she is. She's a bloody Cancer, man. These Cancerians, they are romantics. Give them that.
Right.
So they must have dated or courted. But for me, because like you said, they didn't trust us. They didn't trust us to go out and not be with a man. Like I said, I got a lot of licks growing up because the auntie saw me talking to this Rasta man and they bust my ass. She beat me, then she tell my mother, and my mother beat me. You understand?
Right.
So there was not that trust. So for us, and we were the last set of children to be running around outside and doing things outside. Because time internet hit, it's a different story. So every opportunity I got, I would take it because I don't know I get licks for it already. They were not letting me go out on dates. They were not happy with me holding that boy's hands from school. Aww. They were not happy with me being in the library as a teenager, talking to this boy I fancied or they wouldn't. So what do you do as a child? You take the opportunity when you get it. And this is what I did. No time to get to know anybody. It's just wham, bam, thank you, ma'am. Hope we don't get caught.
What? I remember my parents one Saturday evening on their way home from doing the grocery shopping. They saw me on our road holding a boy's hand, very, very innocent.
Yes.
And the way they dragged me into the car, I will never forget. Babe, that
Go.
car came to a screeching halt, door open, get in.
Yes.
Like, okay, you know, and when I think about it, they saw me in a way that I didn't, right?
Yes.
Because I think prior to that, there was this sixth former who had sent me these love letters and talking about my cherry lips and how he wanted to kiss them. And I put the letters in my parents' drawer in their room because I was like, what is this? Right? So I put those letters in my parents' room in their drawer,
Wow.
and they found them and they were mad with me. And I'm like, I wasn't even trying to, I put them in your bedroom,
I'm
in
not trying
your
to
drawer.
hide.
I am not trying to hide this. I am appalled by it. This is why I have them there.
Yes.
But I think, again, just so like we have this girl child, she's, you know, she's blossoming, you know, and me not realizing that I was blossoming, just being oblivious to all of that, but them being hyper aware and then so fearful
Yeah.
of, in their mind, I guess what would be the worst case scenario, that I end up being a teenage mom. That's like the worst case scenario.
Yep.
And so their overreaction to me just doing what was very natural at that age. You know, you like a boy, you hold his hand, don't lead to anything. They done gone to my child gonna get pregnant.
Yes.
Right? She's not
Straight
gonna finish high
away.
school. And so bam, bam, shut down any
Girl.
dating.
Girl.
And so for me, because I didn't know how to date as an adult, I didn't know how to receive it.
Exactly.
I did not know.
Exactly, Chantal. Chantal, it was
Honestly,
bad.
babes.
I
Yes.
grew up, I could never forget when I got my first period and my mom told my dad, I think I mentioned that already. My mom told my dad that I got my period whilst I was at my auntie's house, and I overheard the conversation, and my dad said, well, is now she going to get pregnant? I was fucking 11 years old.
Not 11.
11.
Dad, what?
You understand? And I overheard the conversation.
No.
So
and
it's
you
like,
heard that.
Period means sex. I'm having sex. So what does a young child do? Okay.
Okay. Now, what does Sherween do?
Exactly. Hence the reason, listeners, I was a teenager. I had teenage. My daughter as a teenager. I was, yes.
I'm
So
saying.
it's sad. It's sad. But I'm guessing now at our age, maybe, it's something to look forward to. Maybe I start listening to everybody and start allowing men.
But Sherween, it's not to say that, as you said, you know, we know better, right? And we have people around us to encourage our growth, who we listen to and we learn from. And that's not to say I haven't had good dates. I've had some great dates. It's just that my experience has been very limited, right?
Okay. Give us a story about one of your good dates.
Okay.
One date to remember.
So, you know, I've had a few. Like one of my first dates when I actually moved back to the UK, there was this exhibition at the Barbican about Brazil. And the person that I was seeing at the time was considering moving to Brazil. And I wasn't even seeing him. I was getting to know, right? We met. I was at an event. We met. We connected. He asked me out. Boom. You see how that works?
Yep.
And so, you know, we agreed and we went to the Barbican. There was this exhibition about Afro-Brazilian culture and art. And it was a very immersive exhibition. So it wasn't that we were just walking around looking at things. You know, there was things to touch and feel and do. And it was just so much fun. Okay? It was so much fun, me and this person. And then we were having so much fun that we then decided, okay, let's go out to eat somewhere. And we went to Shoreditch and some little restaurant, and it was just a brilliant day, right? And then we had a few more dates and decided, no, we weren't going to, you know, progress to being in an intimate relationship, but we became really good friends.
You see that?
We became really good friends. And eventually, I introduced him to the person that would then become his lifetime partner.
Wow.
And I am godmother to their first little girl, right? And this is why it's important to date. Because yes, we acknowledged there was an initial attraction, right?
Mhm.
But then we decided to get to know each other. And we discovered that, okay, that's all it was, an initial attraction. You're cute, I'm cute, hey, but that's it. There was nothing more to it beyond a friendship. And that was great. Another really good date was, for me, I was dating this person just before the world went into lockdown.
Mm.
And what I loved about dating this person is that even the smallest things that I would mention in conversation, he took note of, right?
Yeah.
And so leading up to our first date, there was going to be like a 10-day time lapse. So we wouldn't see each other for 10 days. Once we kind of try, you know, in London, you're trying to mesh schedules.
Yes.
And so it was going to be 10 days. And so we made a little joke because I was surprised that he knew Nevis, right? Because I'm sorry to say, most people, when you say Nevis, they have no clue what you're
I
talking
know what
about,
you're
right?
talking about.
You know what you're talking about.
Honey, I've had my run-ins.
Uh-huh. He was like, of course I know Nevis. And to prove it to you, every day leading up to when we see each other, I am going to send you a fact about Nevis. I'm like, you're going to be sending me no facts. You're probably going on Google, send me things I already know. I was like, okay. Right? Hello. Every day I would wake up to a fact about Nevis. And I would say that 4 or maybe 5 of those things about Nevis, I had no idea.
Wow.
And I was sending them to my sisters like, did you know this? And I did shame. Okay. So he wasn't going to Google. I don't know where he was getting his information from, but it was so beautiful because it showed me that he knew what was important to me.
Yeah.
And anyone who knows me knows how I feel about Nevis. And to say that this person was just getting to know me and already recognized how much space Nevis occupied in my heart, and so made this very intentional act of saying, hey, I know you love this thing. I'm going to show you what I know and what your loving something means to me. Boom. I was like, my God. Then the date itself, he took me to this vegan restaurant. And it wasn't that he knew that I was vegan, because it came up, he knew, right? But he made sure, because we were meeting up after work, that it was a restaurant that was easily accessible for me by train,
Mm-hmm.
and that I could get home from the restaurant easily. Listen, I was like, wait a minute, what is this? The date itself was wonderful. Conversation flowing, jokes, just everything. And we continued to date until a few weeks after the world went into lockdown.
I remember.
And yes, and on every date, my mind was blown by the consideration of what I loved. He knew how I was into film. And one of the dates was at this restaurant, and the restaurant was beautiful. It was on the water, because he knows that I love water, right? And then he said, I have a surprise. I'm like, okay, what else? He's like, come on. So we're going downstairs in the restaurant. I'm like, what's happening? This beautiful cinema, right? And we went to watch Parasite, which Fiona
did.
when she arranged her date.
I think this is bringing a lot of memories, a lot of things.
Right.
That's about after this, when the few weeks passed and everything. That I think that's around the time Relatable started.
Oh my goodness. Look at that. Look at that.
That's around the time Relatable we started
Right.
speaking about Relatable. Yeah.
Wow. Because
That
we were
is.
sharing all of this stuff in the WhatsApp.
Yes.
You're right, Shoween.
Yes.
Because I was giving you guys blow by blow, like, oh my God. and then
Yes,
this, and oh my God, and then
yes.
yes. You
Yes,
are right,
that
my
was
love.
crazy.
Wow. And that for me you know, even though that didn't develop into a relationship, it actually taught me that I am deserving of being courted and how important it is to have that period, because you do discover things about the person and they discover things about you that they might not like. And that's okay, because that's why you're dating, right? So yeah, I've had some good dates. They've been, you know, I haven't had many, but that experience also made me want to date more. Like, yo, I really like this. I like getting to know someone in a much more, in a beyond surface level way. Like, who are you? I really enjoy that. So yeah, I'm looking forward to more very good dates for sure. Fiona, what about you? Any good dates?
Honey, the best date I have ever been on was curated by myself. Okay, we've spoken about this
Wow.
before in a previous episode. I organized a picnic. There's a couple. I'm a good woman, you know. I did a picnic in this indoor park, and I made shrimp tacos, and I think it was confit roast duck sandwiches with goat's cheese and vinaigrette, and I had
You
wine,
are a
and I
good
had
woman, girl.
fruit skewers. And yes, and it was this indoor park overlooking Canary Wharf. So that's like the city and thing in London. And then right after, we had a movie just downstairs at Everyman Cinema. Everyman Cinema is like this cinema that has sofas and stuff. So which is like really relaxed, really intimate, and holds like a really small amount of people. And we went and we watched that Korean film. We watched, it was a very, very popular Korean film.
I know which one.
I know which
Are
one.
they hiding in the house?
Parasite. Is
Parasite.
it Parasite?
I'm
Yes.
like, this is a good date. This is some hard courtship going on there, you know, like confit duck sandwiches that I made the confit duck from scratch, you know.
What, Sheena?
Yeah, I did. And then another one I did like a treasure hunt kind of thing. Not a treasure hunt. I sent them a bunch of clues and we did like a trail. So we started off with like cocktails at this bar, in this Caribbean bar. And then we had to go to this seafood restaurant. So I sent him clues, like the bar was called Trail of Happiness. So I sent like a smiley face, a fish, a rose, and like an H. And it was, we went to Trail of Happiness and went to a seafood restaurant. And then we went to, I booked us a night at the Hilton. And then when you got there, it's like roses and things.
Yeah. Fiona, date me now. Date me now. Date me now. You can't date me.
Like, when did you do that?
Huh?
I'm trying to think when and who.
I know the first one. I remember that first one.
I remember the first one.
Yeah, but I don't remember the second one. Like, wait a minute.
Yes.
Wait a minute.
Yes, I did that for my partner.
Lovely.
Yep.
My girl.
Yeah, I'm cute. I know.
She's
I'm cute. I'm cute.
You are cute. Girl, you're cute though. You're so cute. We need to date you. Right, Charlene?
I'm telling you, I need ideas.
Can you take us on a date?
And I made sure all the things were in the same area. So we just would walk from one to the next to the next. So there's no big driving around.
I see you, Fifi.
You know what I'm saying?
We see you, relatable listeners, writing down.
Yeah, writing down notes. Take notes.
We see you.
Fiona, you need a whole section of date ideas.
Yes, you know, actually, I should start a service, cutedateideas.com.
Cute date.
That's a brilliant idea.
We love that. Okay. Fiona, I'm sorry. I'm going to hold you to that now.
Okay.
Like, you now have to do this.
Yeah, I'm cute.
You're cute. We see you.
And I'll start a service for after the dates.
Anyway.
Right.
Yes, exactly. You know what?
Right.
Actually, Chantal will start with a set of questions maybe you should ask, and in terms of, you know, like a curated questions on how to get to know your potential partner, right?
Yes.
And then I will curate the dates and Shaween will curate the after.
Why should we not have to cure it in the
That's what
after?
she
What
said.
is the after?
That's what she said.
Oh,
You
that's
know?
what she said?
Oh,
Okay.
honey.
Oh,
That's when we're
honey.
taking it to the next
Honey,
step.
honey, honey. Okay.
So we're going to the next step. That's when we're going to the
Yes.
intimacy.
Oh, so this is after a few dates.
A
And then
few
shall
dates, the
we,
intimacy
when
part.
we feel that, okay, this is
Yeah,
going to
we're
lead
ready.
to,
Yes.
okay. I think relatable dating.
Ooh.
I think we
That's
should as well.
that is one right there.
Yo, listeners, tell us when you listen to this episode if you feel that we should do this. Okay, we want to hear from you. And share your dating experiences with us. We want to
Yes.
know. You want to know.
Gasa,
All right.
I need to know.
Hello, and welcome to Under the Mango Tree. This week, I decided to share the sounds of the ocean at Penny's Beach. Penny's Beach is one of my favorite places to go in Nevis when I'm in desperate need of solitude and some nervous system soothing. I hope you enjoy as much as I do.
The best time I had with getting to know somebody was during the pandemic. I met this guy just before the pandemic, like before it started. So I met him in February 2020 and lockdown was in March. So we met, it was, very, very intense when we met. But then when the lockdown happened, because of his job, he was able to go around, drive around and stuff. He was in the army. So he was able to leave the army base and come to my house and spend lots of time at the house. So it was a COVID romance. It really was. We spent a lot of time indoors, and Fiona curated this beautiful date for us. That fucker needs to start that thing. Cute Dates by Fiona.
Yes.
I think she curated a lovely so I sent her to tell me, okay, go take some pictures, Shubin, take lots of pictures, and we're going to send him an invitation to a date, and that date was in the house. So the kids were there, but we had a beautiful breakfast. She planned a beautiful breakfast, pictures of me in all sorts of crazy positions, making breakfast, cooking, doing this, him helping out in the kitchen, she curated a beautiful date for us. And then we did go out. We went out to a spot that we loved, which was not too far from the house. And like I said, because his vehicle had an army registration or something like that, he was able to get around, and if police stopped him, it wouldn't be a problem. So
I like that.
So we went out to this spot to see the sunrise. Then we came back home and we had a beautiful breakfast. And then we watched a film, and then we cooked dinner together. And then it was just beautiful. It was lovely. And I think that time was probably one of my favorite times, because during our relationship lasted 6 months. It was in the house. During that time, I really did get to know him, and I saw the different sides to him. So by the end, I knew as much as I loved this man and I wanted, we were making plans, doing this, doing that. I knew he was not the one for me. So yeah, I guess courting, though indoors, it did work. It did tell me, okay, Shuin, you won't be able to put up with this.
Right,
You won't.
right.
So I had to let
Yeah.
it go. And then we were allowed to go out and things. So I tell him and go on his business, my friend.
He's like, bye,
Go on
boo.
his business. Yeah. But dating, I've not done much of it. I haven't. And it's something probably I should start doing rather than just jumping in headfirst, hoping for the best. Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. There's beauty in that as well, Shaween.
Well, I got married for 12 years.
There we go. 12
I was married
years.
for 12 years. My kids
Yeah.
had the most beautiful family. My family was lovely. The kids had a beautiful upbringing. They had a father figure, which is what I wanted. And
Right.
had I probably dragged my feet, or not dragged my feet, but gone down the route of, oh, I need to get to know this person. I need to do this. I need to do that. I need to make sure, blah, 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 blah. All the things we're supposed to do beforehand, it probably would not have happened. It probably wouldn't, because I think for me, when I put my mind to something and I say, okay, I want to be with this person, I understand that there will be quirks and little things about them that I don't like. And when I see them, I say, okay, is that something I could deal with or not? If it's too much for me, it will not work, because I'll say, you know what, nah, I can't deal with that. But if I see it's something that, okay, maybe I could compromise on, and maybe showing you just being a bit extra, then I'll be like, you know something, all right, it's fine. And that's what it was like with my marriage. I got to know my husband whilst married. Because I definitely didn't know who he was.
Right. And also, to be fair, I got married to someone who I'd known most of my life. And it turns out I still didn't know his race, right?
You see that?
There's also that. Yeah. How well can you ever really know someone?
Yeah,
right?
Exactly.
But I think for me, that kind of safety is very important. Like me feeling safe.
Yeah.
And when I say safe, I just don't mean physically, but emotionally and mentally and spiritually feeling safe. And so I will date. I will date. I would prefer to date. Yeah.
Based off my experience, I'm seeing the importance of it now. I really am. But on the flip side, I'm also I take chances, guys. I take risks. I take chances. And I will not take a chance if it's going to affect other people.
Yes.
But for me, I know what I'm willing to accept. I know I will walk away from something. I'll get my go well, I'll cry, I will feel bad, but I won't stay. And that's the thing. A lot of women will stay in the situation because maybe for comfort, I don't know, if they need stability. Because I will make myself uncomfortable and get out of something.
I love that about you so much, Shoeen, truly. Yeah. And I've learned to be more open because of our friendship. Absolutely, 100%.
Oh, darling.
Yes, absolutely. You know,
I'm a bad woman, eh?
For me, I mean, and you're Sag and my moon is Sag, right?
Yes.
And so you, for me, you've helped me to really be open to that, be open to my more adventurous side. Because it's there. I mean, when I look at things that I've done, I'm like, yeah, Shan, you say you're not adventurous.
Exactly.
But you did what? At what age? You left and then, yeah. So on reflection, I'm like, actually, I am a little bit of a, you know what? I'm going to do this. Bye. Right? Not just in relationships, but just life. Things that I've done.
Yeah, itself.
But I do feel that our friendship has helped me to really own that.
And
not shy away from it. So, I don't ever want you to feel like Fiona and I are judging you, or absolutely not.
My girl, let me tell you something. Not just Fiona and you. Everybody else could judge all they want. Me not care.
And I also that.
And that goes from my mother down. Me not care. I will show you will always do.
That's right. You know
She'll always
business.
do what she wants. And then when it don't work, she'll be like, oh, okay.
Oh, fuck.
All
Maybe I
right.
should have listened. Okay.
Yeah.
Never mind.
I say to Fiona, I will have when I'm old, I will have so many stories to tell them grandkids. Boy,
For
they will laugh
real.
so much.
For real.
I
For
could
real.
give them all the stories of why dating is important. Why you
Yes.
shouldn't do it.
And your stories will be bringing them all the joy. All the joy. And speaking of which,
Speaking
Shelly,
of which,
speaking of which, oh, our segues are seamless. Can I just say? Okay, Shaween, but what has been bringing you joy lately?
okay, so basically, you see what I said for how my week's going. It's been busy, but I'm so excited. I'm so excited about the projects there's two projects in particular we're working on. And I don't want to go mouth the thing and talk about it too much. But I am so, if it does happen, it will be like probably one of the best things I've done in a long time. So I'm really hoping it goes through. I'm really praying it goes through, and the Relatable family will be there alongside us every step of the way. So I'm happy about that. And yes, so that's been bringing hard work it is, but it's been bringing me a lot of joy knowing that I'm working towards something big. And yeah, let's just see what happens. And when it does happen, when everything we're ready to speak about it, Relatable will be the first set of people to know.
Oh,
Yeah, that's been bringing me joy. What about you, Chantal?
oh, me. Well, I got some really good news. I got some really good news.
yeah.
Oh my God. Late last week, in the midst of all the stuff that you know that's been happening, and I actually, when I got the confirmation, I stepped away from my laptop and I walked around my parents' home inside the house, thanking every ancestor because there's photos of both sets of grandparents, my aunts. I walked around this house thanking them, bawling. Okay. I think I cried for maybe half an hour.
Good.
Right? Because this is going to impact the lives, and I'm getting emotional. It's going to impact the lives of so many girls on this island.
Wow.
Right? They don't even know yet because I can't officially announce it until April 12th, I think, which is not too far away. And it's something that I worked really hard on, that I was ready to walk away from. I'm like, you know, long nights, long days, but something in me knew that we were going to be successful. And when I say we, I mean Island Girls Rock.
Yes.
And we have been, and I cannot wait to share this joy with everyone. And I have to say, this opportunity came to us because someone has seen the work that we do. Someone knew that I was back in the Caribbean, and they spoke highly of me in a room where I was not present.
Wonderful.
Okay?
Wonderful.
Listen, Shaween, and it is the people that speak, that praise your name and your work when you are not around. I didn't even have a clue that this person was aware of the work that I do. And she reached out to me on LinkedIn and she said, Chantal, this thing has come up. I think you should apply for it. I have told them about you. There's going to be a Zoom call about it. You need to be on the Zoom. And I was like, okay. I was like, all right. And she told me what the opportunity was. And I thought, oh. Like, I immediately knew the project that I would want to put forward. I was like, okay. So I attended the Zoom, and there were a few other people who they wanted to, you know, apply for this thing. And, you know, even on the call, it was like connecting with other people. I'm like, oh my God, it was great. So even for that, I was grateful. And then, yeah, came the work. And last week, I got confirmation that I had been successful. And so that brought me
Mysterious.
so much joy, Shelly.
Chantal.
So much. So
Praise.
much.
What a wonderful way to start your new year.
Yes. And that is
What
how it
a
felt.
wonderful way to start the year.
Yo, and I feel like it was the spring equinox that I got
Yeah,
the news.
really, last Tuesday.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I was like,
Yeah.
yo, yes, it was. Because I messaged my sisters and I said exactly what you said, Charlene. What a
Yeah.
way to start my new year.
Yeah.
Yo,
Beautiful.
very grateful. Very grateful. So Fiona, my love, what has brought you joy this week?
What is bringing me joy this week is watching my friend's daughter. I might as well call her my niece because friend's daughter sounds so long. And we are painting a mural together for the shop. And she's doing such an amazing job, right? She's an amazing artist. And she's been sitting in the room with me whilst we've been recording. And I've been watching her. She's done like this like small bush and these leaves and stuff, and like her light and shadowing and her blending, it is so beautiful. And then she did this most beautiful big gentle pastel pink flower, and this big banana leaf is so beautiful. And this has really brought me the most joy this week.
Oh, I really enjoyed this episode with you guys.
Yes.
Very interesting.
I was afraid of it.
You said that at the top of the show.
I was afraid, but you know what? It's fine. It's
we're
fine.
We're fine. We're all fine. Everything's fine. Channeling Tiffany from Insecure. It's fine. We're all fine.
So we're all fine.
We're all fine. Big up Amanda Seals, by the way. Big up Amanda Seals.
Hey, you know something?
Amanda,
we need to get our sister on here, man.
Big up Amanda, our island girl, Caribbean bad girl.
Yes.
We love you. We giving you your flowers.
Hey,
we like
all
you.
of them.
And
all of them. We
it.
appreciate you.
That is it. That's all we gonna say. Okay. All right, listeners, as usual, you know, we love and appreciate you so much. So much. Let us know how you feel about this episode once we've posted it up. Slide into our DMs, give us your dating stories or your dating advice. How about that? Or if you know of anyone who is open to dating, Sherween and myself, then by all means, we are open to being connected.
Before we go, can I just say thank you to our listeners and supporters. Some people have been sending some really lovely messages. And next recording, I'm gonna share some of them. But yes, thank you to our supporters, to the listeners. We appreciate you. We really, really genuinely do. And yes, so if anything, Chantal, remember, a shared journey.
It bring hope, man. It bring hope. Love you guys. Bye.
Bye.
Relatable, because a shared journey brings hope.